I've been hiding it for so long, but now it's impossible to keep pretending. This fantasy is pulling me in, and I don't know how much longer I can fight it. What if this secret is what's been holding me back all along? I've kept it locked away, but now it feels like it's pushing me to confront it. There's a storm brewing inside me, and I can't stop it. This fantasy is alive now, and it's all I can think about. What happens next? Every time I try to focus on something else, it's there, lurking in the background. This fantasy is no longer just a thought, it's an obsession. I thought I could control it, but now I'm starting to wonder, what if this fantasy is more powerful than I am? Every time I close my eyes, it gets clearer. This hidden desire is whispering to me, and it feels like it's only a matter of time before I give in. What if this fantasy is the key to unlocking everything I've been holding back? Can I risk it, or will it destroy me? It's a dangerous game I'm playing, keeping this fantasy locked away. But now, it's pushing against every boundary I've set. I can feel the pressure building, like a dam ready to burst. This fantasy is demanding attention, and I can't hold it in any longer. It's like a chain pulling me forward. This fantasy I've been keeping hidden. But what if it's the thing that's been missing all along? Every thought feels like a betrayal now, keeping this fantasy buried inside. What if letting go is the only way to find peace? It's crazy how something so secret can feel so powerful. This fantasy is taking over every moment, and I don't know how to make it stop. I've been pretending, but deep down, this fantasy is always there. What if it's not something to fear, but something to embrace? This desire is like a fire that won't be put out, and the more I try to ignore it, the hotter it gets. Is it finally time to face it? I've been hiding behind this mask, pretending it's not there, but now this fantasy is becoming too real to deny. Every night, I feel it tugging at me, and the more I try to resist, the stronger it grows. What if I've been hiding something that could change everything? I don't know how much longer I can keep running from this. This fantasy is chasing me, and it's getting harder to outrun it. What if everything I've been hiding is the key to unlocking something beautiful? I've been keeping this fantasy locked inside, but what happens when I let it out? There's a part of me that wants to scream, to let this secret explode out of me. But what if it's the one thing I've been missing all along? This fantasy has been lurking in the back of my mind for so long, and I can't keep pretending it's not there. What happens if I finally give in? I've been carrying this burden alone for so long, but now it feels like it's time to let someone else see it. Will it make everything easier or more complicated? It's like I'm standing at the edge, and this fantasy is pulling me closer. Do I take the leap or stay where it's safe? The more I think about it, the more I realize this is no longer just a fantasy. It's a need, a craving I can't shake. I've kept this locked away for so long, but now it's impossible to ignore. Every part of me is screaming to let it out. It's like something inside of me is finally breaking free, and I don't know if I'm ready to face it. What happens if this fantasy is everything I've been searching for? I can feel it rising, like the tide pulling me in. This fantasy has been whispering to me for so long, but now I wonder, what if it's my time to listen? I've been trying to hold back, but it's like a floodgate waiting to open. This secret has been building up, and I don't know how much longer I can keep it inside. This fantasy feels like a part of me that's been buried for too long, and now it's coming to the surface. What will happen when I finally let it out? I've kept this secret locked away, but now it's like it's breaking free, ready to take over everything. What if I let it out? It's been hiding in the corners of my mind, but now it's impossible to ignore. This fantasy is slowly consuming me. Will I be able to stop it? I've been pretending for so long that it's not there, but now this fantasy feels more real than anything else. What if it's been waiting for the right moment? Every part of me wants to scream and let it all go, but what happens if I do? Will I be able to handle the truth of this fantasy? It's like this fantasy has been chasing me, growing stronger, and now I'm at a crossroads. Do I face it or keep running from it? What if this fantasy, the one I've been keeping hidden for so long, is the answer I've been searching for? But am I ready to face the consequences? I can feel it building, like a pressure in my chest. This hidden desire is about to burst free. What will I do when it does? I've kept this secret buried deep inside, and it's starting to consume me. Can you feel the weight of it too? What if everything changes after you hear this? What happens when your wildest desires start to surface and you can't control them anymore? This fantasy has been growing inside me, and it's too powerful to ignore now. Do you ever wonder if the truth will set you free or destroy you? I've been hiding this fantasy for so long, and the more I think about it, the more I can't escape it. Ever feel like your own thoughts are spiraling out of control? This hidden fantasy has been taking over, and I'm afraid it might be too late to turn back now. You won't believe what's been running through my mind lately. I've kept this locked away for so long, but I can't keep pretending it doesn't exist. I've kept this secret buried deep in the shadows, but now it's clawing its way into the light. Do you ever wonder what would happen if you let go. It feels like a fire inside, and no matter how hard I try, it won't burn out. What would happen if you stopped fighting it just for a moment? Every night it's the same. My thoughts race, and this fantasy is always there, lurking, begging to be set free. Is it time to let it out? I've been holding back, hiding in fear, but this intense feeling is becoming impossible to ignore. Can you feel the tension building? What if the fantasy you've kept locked away for so long is the very thing that could change your entire life? I've been fighting it, but now it's impossible to resist. It's strange how something so buried can suddenly become your only focus. Every thought is a battle, but maybe this fantasy is exactly what I need to face. Have you ever felt like you're losing your grip on something? That's what this secret is doing to me. It's like an addiction I can't shake off. This feeling keeps creeping in, getting stronger, and now I'm starting to wonder if it's not a curse, but a hidden desire that's been waiting for the right moment. There's a part of me that wants to scream, to let this fantasy break free. Why am I fighting it when it's been a part of me all along? The more I think about it, the more this fantasy feels like it's taking over my life. I can't shake the feeling that it's time to confront it. It's like a magnet pulling me in, this fantasy I've been hiding, but now it's getting harder to pretend it's not there, especially when it feels so alive. I've kept quiet for so long, but something in me is changing. This fantasy is whispering to me, and I don't know how much longer I can ignore it. Can you feel the heat of this desire creeping up on you? I've been keeping it in the dark, but it's starting to burn brighter than ever. It's impossible to ignore this fantasy that's been holding my mind captive. What would happen if I let it take control? Would I lose everything or gain something new? Every time I close my eyes, this fantasy grows stronger, and I can't shake the feeling that it's about to consume me. What if it's the only thing that's real? I've been hiding it, pretending it doesn't exist. But this fantasy is starting to tear me apart. What if the only way out is to embrace it? It's like a shadow in the corner of my mind, always there, always waiting. This fantasy I've kept hidden, could it really change everything if I finally let it come to light? This secret is a weight I've been carrying, and I can't keep pretending it's not suffocating me. What if I finally give in and let it out? I can't stop thinking about it. It's like a craving that won't go away. But if I give in, will I be able to handle the consequences? Every night, it's all I can think about. This fantasy is taking over my mind, and I don't know if I'm strong enough to resist anymore. It feels like something is about to explode inside of me. This fantasy has been buried for so long, and now it's demanding to be set free. What if letting go of this secret is the only way to find peace? But how can I? It feels like if I speak it aloud, everything will change forever. The more I try to ignore it, the stronger it gets. This fantasy has been lurking in the shadows, and it's finally coming out to play. There's no escape from it now. This hidden desire has been gnawing at me for too long, and now I can't stop wondering what would happen if I let go. I can feel the tension building like something's about to snap. This fantasy I've been holding inside is starting to take control. Am I ready for it? It's crazy how something so buried can suddenly feel like it's alive, growing, waiting. This fantasy isn't just a thought anymore, it's taking over. Every moment I try to push it down, it rises up stronger. This hidden desire is like a wildfire burning inside me. What if it's time to let it burn?